Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, then hi, my name is Lauren, and on my channel we mostly talk about anything luxury, but we also discuss lifestyle and beauty. So if you're interested in any of these topics, please consider subscribing to my channel and we'll get started with the video. So in today's video, I'm going to be presenting you the best luxury travel bags. I'm going to be showing you tips and tricks on how to travel in luxury and in style. So if you're curious to see what my choices are, then please keep on watching. Alright, so before we start the video, we are going to make an essential distinction between two types of trips. So first of all, we'll have a road trip, and then we'll have a trip that involves taking an actual flight. So for each, I will be showing you different ideas of luxury handbags that you could take with you, along with a sample outfit, one that you could either wear on a road trip and another one that you could wear at the airport. And without further ado, we'll start with road trips, simply because these are my favorite types of trips, and since I just bought a house last year, I'm pretty much broke, and so that's the only kind of trips that I can afford. So we'll start with the road trips, and for road trips, my number one recommendation of a luxury bag would be a Louis Vuitton keep-all, and for that I will come back and back up the camera because this will be like humongous and I need more space. So one of the main reasons why I recommended this particular bag for a road trip is because I feel like it is the perfect amount of space for like a road trip slash weekend trip. I feel like it's fairly unusual to go on road trips that last like, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. If you do, it's going to be something super adventurous, and then you're not going to bring anything luxurious anyway. But if you go on like a weekend trip and you take your car, it's maybe like 2, 3, max 4 days. And I feel like this is really the perfect amount of space. You have the perfect amount of things to pack for that kind of trip. I feel like this bag is roomy, but at the same time, it's not like super duper large. You would still have space to pack other stuff in your car. And then one of the main things is obviously on road trips, you don't actually carry your bags. I mean, you take them in the car and then you take them out of the car, but that's the only kind of carrying that you'll be doing versus, you know, at the airport, you're like walking around and it's like taking forever. So here, this is kind of the downside of this bag. It doesn't really feel good carrying it because your choices are you can either use the handles like this, but after a little bit, you're going to have your hands broken, or you could use the strap, which is here, but the problem of that strap is you're going to have your shoulder broken. So really the choice is you can either not have hands anymore or not have a shoulder. So it's not super comfortable, especially if you pack heavy stuff inside. But if you are using it for a road trip, I frankly don't think that it's any kind of a problem. I would feel like it's more of a problem if you plan on taking it on the airplane. That's why I would not recommend it. Also, one of the last things to mention about packing this particular bag for a road trip would be that you wouldn't need 35,000 different bags. You would basically only need this and then 2 or 3 more things. So the stuff that I would put in here would be mainly number 1, clothes, and then number 2, shoes slash accessories. For the rest, meaning obviously like your personal items, as well as your toiletries, makeup, etc., I would advise different pouches or different bags that we're gonna see in a second. Alright, so I just moved a bit closer to the camera, and now I'm going to be showing you my choice of handbag. So if I were to take a road trip, the handbag that I would choose to carry would be the Goya Saint Louis tote in size PM. This is actually something that I have very recently acquired. It is my latest bag that I have unboxed. So if you're curious to see the unboxing of this particular bag and kind of hear my first impressions of it, then I will go ahead and leave the link to that video in the little information link over here for you to see it. I was thrilled, and I'm still thrilled to have this bag. And I feel like one of the main reasons why it would work so well on a weekend trip is because this obviously, you know, would serve to kind of hold your personal items in your car, and you could, you know, pretty much put like, you know, all of your essentials like sunscreen, I don't know, whatnot, like a beverage, basically anything and everything. But This bag is very, very practical. So pretty much regardless of the kind of weekend trip that you're going on, if you're going to visit a winery, if you're going to visit your family, if you're going to tour a new city, if you're going on a shopping trip, if you're going to the spa, I mean, literally this is good for anything and everything, and it is not too roomy. I feel like for a weekend trip, you don't need like an extra large handbag. You don't need like, you know, a size GM tote bag or anything. You kind of need something that's like small. Additionally, it can be folded. Right now there is an organizer inside, but additionally, if you don't feel like using it, or if you feel like, you know, you don't have, I don't know, enough space in your car or whatnot, you could also fold it. So that's always very, very practical, but I feel like this is the perfect weekend trip bag. It packs everything that you might need, but is not too large. And then lastly, the last handbag or the last bag that I would recommend for a road trip would be the Louis Vuitton Nice Vanity. It is the full size, it's not the BB size. And I got mine in regular monogram. So the reason why I would recommend this piece on a road trip is because I don't really think that your toiletries would be safe in the Louis Vuitton Keepall. I feel like they would be kind of on the loose in the bag and it wouldn't be safe. They could kind of like spill or open themselves. It wouldn't be the best. So this is what I would use to, number one, put toiletries and then makeup as well. I wouldn't have another makeup pouch, especially because you're only leaving for like 4 or 5 days, 3-4 days, all that. So I would put both in here. I've actually shown a video on my channel on how to organize this particular piece, which included number one, toiletries, and then number two, makeup. So if you're curious to see my makeup and toiletries and see how I organize this particular piece, then I will go ahead and leave the link to that video in the little information link over here for you to see it. This is nice in the sense that it is very, very roomy, it is very large, but it doesn't really matter too much if you're going on a road trip, because you know you have a lot of space in your car, so it's not like you're gonna run out of space for 4 or 5 days. So that's what I like about this piece. I feel like otherwise it is fairly impractical. This is why I've actually never used this particular bag. I feel really bad saying that. This is actually an item that I have featured in a video that I posted on my channel a couple of months ago titled Luxury Items That I Haven't Used Since Purchasing. I feel even horrible saying that because it is such a gorgeous piece. I can see it in the camera. But yeah, it is very impractical because it's so bulky and so large. I haven't really used it. I would use it for a road trip. I think it is a really, really good idea. Now, to tell you the complete truth, I have not gone on a road trip like by myself or for myself. I've gone on road trips to go see my family. And this is not really the type of item that I would like to bring to their place. I feel like it's a little too much, it's a little too extra. But if I were to go on like a romantic getaway or something, then that would definitely be my choice. Alright, so now moving on to airplane trips, and the first type of bag that I would bring if I were to go on an airplane would be a cabin-sized suitcase. So right now I'm not going to show it to you on camera. I will instead show it to you in the sample outfits that I plan on taking to the airport. But so basically mine is a Samsonite one. It is about as old as the earth. But I feel like it's pretty pointless showing it to you on camera right now because you know how to pack a cabin-sized suitcase, especially depending on the size that yours is. Everyone has one. They're nothing super special. So let's just skip this part and move on to the handbag that I have to show you. The handbag that I would choose to carry with my cabin-sized suitcase would be a Chanel de Ville. Mine is in size medium and it is in this beautiful gray color. I've had it for the longest time, kind of like the Samsonite suitcase, and I haven't used it a ton, and the reason for that is because of how large, bulky, and heavy it is. And the reason why I would recommend it for an airplane trip is because I would put it on top of the cabin size suitcase and then kind of roll the suitcase. So that way I wouldn't have to actually carry this bag, which is currently giving me an arm workout. So it's basically the best of both worlds because you do not have like the inconvenience that this bag usually has, but you have the good side. So obviously the good side is this bag is extremely roomy, like extremely roomy. It can fit a lot of stuff. Currently I have a bag organizer inside, which is really practical because if you need to find like small stuff, that makes it a lot easier, because otherwise like the inside of this bag is like all dark gray, so it's very, very complicated to find stuff inside. But that makes it a lot easier. So I feel like if you're going on an airplane trip, it's usually not for like 2 days, so you are going to need a lot of stuff. And I also believe that lately kind of airlines have been, you know, restricting the weight that you can have in your suitcase, or the size of your suitcase, or even the size of your cabin size suitcase. So this is really a very good way to kind of bypass all of these obstacles. You can fit so much in this bag. And even if you feel like you're not going to use it when you reach your destination, that's fine. It will already have served its purpose. You can have like another bag that you fold in your suitcase when you reach your destination that you can use, like the Goya that I showed you earlier. Or you could use this one, for example, if you're going on like a beach vacation. That would be ideal because this bag is so large. It can hold like 2 beach towels, like sunscreen, basically all of your beach essentials. By the way, I have recently done a video on my channel titled "What's in My Bag," where I showed how I pack my beach bag for the beach, which is this bag. So if you're curious to see what my beach essentials are, then I will go ahead and leave the link to that video in the little information link over here for you to see it. But yeah, to wrap things up, I really feel like this is super practical because you have all of the good sides of this bag without having the inconvenience. The next item that I would bring on an airplane ride would be the Louis Vuitton Cosmetic Pouch. I have mine in size GM in traditional monogram. And like the title says, it should be a cosmetic pouch, and normally I use it for that. But if I were to go on an airplane ride, I would mostly use it for my very personal items. So in other words, the things that I would choose to put inside would be, well, number one, my passport. I feel like everyone needs one when you're going to the airport, especially me, since I'm not a US citizen. I always feel safer having my passport, even if I'm traveling domestically. Obviously, we have COVID card, and then a couple of these like mini small essentials. So we have, for example, a lip balm. What else do we have? Oh yes, we have a sunscreen, because even when I go out of the airport for like 2 minutes, I have to put sunscreen on. I'm like a little bit obsessed with sunscreen. And then we have, what else do we have? A hand cream. And then last but not least, also a hand sanitizer. If I were traveling, I would obviously add, you know, the plane ticket, kind of the certificate for your suitcase, all of that good stuff that I don't have right now because I'm not traveling. But this is the type of stuff that I find very, very useful, because instead of having all of these items on the loose in your bag, they're basically right here. So anytime that you're looking for them, you know where to look for, and not, you know, kind of like scramble and ramble and look for your stuff. I would also add my home key, not necessarily my car key, clearly not, but I am like not used to not taking my car key. That's because I never take an airplane. Like I think that the last airplane that I took was like in 2021, like 2 or 3 years ago already. I feel a little bad, but that's fine. So yeah, I'm super used to going on road trips, so I was gonna mention the car key, but definitely not needed. So yeah, that's basically what I would bring in here. I feel like that way you can access all of those things easily and you don't have to look for your stuff for forever. That would be really, really unpleasant for me. And lastly, the last item that I would bring if I were to go on an airplane ride would be the Chanel Zippy Coin Purse. I have mine in black and caviar leather with silver hardware. And the reason why I would bring this particular wallet instead of a traditional card holder, which I normally use, is because there are, number one, many different pockets inside, so that makes it really, really easy to kind of compartmentalize and sort your things. And then number two, because there's those compartments plus the one that's also in the back, this makes it very, very roomy and very, very practical if you're carrying different currencies, if you have to have different credit cards with you, if you have to have like different pieces of ID with you. This makes it very, very easy because you can compartmentalize either by type of stuff, so you can put maybe the credit cards in here, then banknotes in here, then coins in here, or you can do by country. So your home country, like for me it's the US, so I would put all of my US IDs here, US banknotes here, and then US coins. And then next one, if I were visiting, I don't know, my family or something, I would put euros in here, or Canadian dollars in here. So that makes it really, really easy to not always, you know, kind of like look for your stuff. I used to have another wallet before when I was traveling, and I would always get the wrong currency out. This would happen all the time, and it was very, very impractical. So this basically avoids this problem, and it's also very, very compact and very small. So even if you don't have a super huge handbag like the Chanel de Ville, it's basically fine. I mean, unless you have like a walk, I kind of think that's the only bag that maybe would be a problem to hold this, but it would be silly to have a walk on the airplane, frankly. So basically this works with any type of handbag. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video was beneficial and kind of helpful for you if you were kind of debating which outfits to plan for, or if you didn't know which bag to bring. I hope that I was able to give you some good ideas. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.